Yeah, a lot of the book, I think, honors the authenticity and the truth of each individual, not trying to group everyone. And I truly appreciate that because I think that's what medicine needs to do more of as a whole. It's not just lump us together by diagnosis and treat us all the same, but truly appreciate each person's unique individual characteristic traits and what led them either to disease or what lead them back to health. But if we're talking about children and you're talking about the wrong environment, let's say a very stressful, yelling environment, one with tons of technology that takes over the brain rather than stimulation of natural things, let's say. A child in the right environment, do you find them to be very intuitive?
I actually find both. In the very aggressive, energetic, high stress environment and a more varied environment, I find that children that have the sensory system that is relating to the stomach and the heart are very intuitive. Mm-hmm. They sense it all. Mm-hmm. And so their imbalance isn't necessarily coming from an illness. Their imbalance is coming from the vagus nerve feeding those neurons into certain parts of their body that are collapsing their ability to stay balanced, right? Yeah. I do notice that in environments that are more aggressive than a nervous system or a sensory system can take, which can sometimes be overloaded, I find that a lot of those kids later in life find that they are highly intuitive and that they actually have a lot of answers. Whereas the other type of child or teenager, they may have been able to develop their senses in a more calm environment, but it doesn't mean that they're necessarily ahead of the game. Intuition is a feeling that, and now I'm going to come into one part. Our spirit has to, in my opinion, live in this physical body. The strength of our spirit is going to pick up on the sensory system and either help the human being, help the individual balance itself out by hearing, seeing, feeling, or it's not. And that comes in with the strength of the human spirit. We're all different. We're driven differently. We're driven with our superpower, if you will, of where we're going in life. There are kids and teenagers and young adults. They don't care. They don't care if they're living in a trash can. They're going, and that's where they're going, and that's it, right? And so that's a very individual topic, and that is that the human spirit is inside this physical body addressing the sensory system.